When you think about what has changed or influenced the course of the history, a specific event or series of events may come to mind. But in reality, is it the events or is it the people influencing the events that have changed the course of history? These are the people who made the difference. These are the women. The Union consists of mostly northern states, such as Pennsylvania, New York, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, and Maryland, but it also consists of states like California, Oregon, and Kansas. Louisa May Alcott was a nurse for the Union during the war. She also is an American novelist, best known for her work, The Little Women, published in 1868. Susan Burnell Anthony aided the administration for President Abraham Lincoln. She also aided wounded soldiers during the war. She later began fighting for women's right to vote. Lucy Webb Hayes went to the camp where her husband was stationed, where she aided the wounded, cheered up the homesick, and comforted the dying. She later became the First Lady of the United States when Rutherford B. Hayes, her husband, was elected president. Paulina Crushman was a Union spy. She followed Confederate troops in Kentucky and Tennessee, often reporting their activities to the Union Army. General Braxton Bragg of the Confederates discovered her. She was later sentenced to be hung, but escaped when Union troops invaded. Florina Budwin, wife of a Pennsylvania soldier, disguised herself as a man and enlisted in the Union Army to be near her husband. They were captured and imprisoned in the Andersonville prison, where her husband died. When her identity was revealed, she remained at the prison to take care of the Union soldiers. Finally dying of an illness, Florina was the first woman to ever be buried in a national cemetery. The Confederates consisted of states from the South, such as Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, and Arkansas. Harriet Tubman was best known for her work of freeing slaves, but after the Civil War broke out, she also served as a spy, soldier, and nurse in Fortress Monroe. Her experience leading slaves along the Underground Railroad was particularly helpful because she knew the landscape well. She recruited a group of former slaves to scout and locate the rebels and report the movement to the Confederate troops. Belle Boyd was the South's most colorful and famous female spy. She was twice imprisoned and arrested 6 times. Belle defied Union authority by carrying important letters and papers across enemy lines. Ironically, before the war ended, Belle Boyd married Captain Hardin, a Union naval officer. Nancy Hart served as a Confederate scout, guide, and spy, carrying messages between Southern armies. She hung around isolated Federal posts to report their strengths, population, and vulnerability to General Jackson. Nancy was 20 years old when she was captured by the Yankees and jailed in a diplomat house with guards constantly patrolling the building. She gained the trust with one of the guards, got his weapon from him, and shot him, and escaped. Elizabeth Bonlow asked to be allowed to visit Union prisoners held by the Confederates in Richmond and began to take them food and medicine. She realized that many of the prisoners had been marched through Confederate lines on their way to Richmond and were full of useful information about Confederate movements. She became a spy for the next 4 years, setting up a network of courses and devising a code. On December 31, 1862, Elizabeth wrote about President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation and how she hoped people would finally get the freedom they deserved. These women are the people who truly sculpted our country into what it is today, and they helped fight for women so that today we have the rights we truly deserve.